This is crazy.
10. You're 10
Crazy.
years old, right? So, I mean, dad has full rights to be in your personal business. He's your dad.
He said he was getting bullied at school, and I'm trying to help him get that taken care of. And now I'm getting, it doesn't matter. I'm asking, this is my first time asking you about it, son. And now that we have the police here to verify, now I can take all of this back to court. This is going to help me, but do you see how this is harassment to me? Of me trying to be a father in your life and just to make sure you're okay. This is what I have to go through.
Mom didn't say you did anything.
Yeah, but
because he's texting, she wanted.
Just as a civilian and trying to be a father, this is crazy that I have to have the police at my door to ask my son questions about his life. That's crazy.
You know that you could have got your,
It's just the text that she was showing us, and then
I don't know why he'd be unsafe. He's just fine. All my kids are right here.
absolutely.
Have anybody ever talked to you about the cops and a black man? You never,
We see that they're
never
okay.
had that conversation
We're
before?
gonna head out. We're gonna
Your
let
mom?
mom know they're okay.
That's crazy.
I'll come back with that.
Yeah, please do. I need all information. Thank you very much. Everybody who's on scene, all of this. This is crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll be right
thank
back.
you very much.
You know?
This is
Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Huh? You think you can do this shit? Yay!
I said I'm never coming back again. Next I stepped away from the mirror. I got my mind made up now, cause I can see the future much clearer. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More importantly, you saw that clip. This is like some kids choose. Kids choose. And what I mean is he chose to be Team Mama. He chose to be anti-dad. Some kids are anti-dad. They're taught that way, right? And, you know, your dad asking you what's going on in your life and you texting your mama and your mama calling the police, that's a control issue. Kid don't know that yet, but that's the issue. You know, the police got to tell a child that, yeah, your dad's supposed to know what's going on in your life. Yeah. And the kid's just looking, I don't understand. Because you team mama, you anti-dad. Then we got to take another step forward. And I don't know why this has to be addressed, but but it's a shame that it has to be addressed, but it always comes up. Dad's got to kowtow to these kids because they're with the mama and be nice. Because I saw the cop looking like, boy, I ought to beat you. One of the cops, he was looking like, this little kid, boy, if you was my kid, I'd beat your motherfucker. Because the cops know what's up. Like, man, wear your little ass out, you little arrogant motherfucker. And the kid, as he talked about his dad asking him about being bullied. So he's one of a few siblings. So the other kids that are at their dad's house that's looking like, yeah, you worried about being bullied at school, but don't worry about it. You call the cops on my dad, which is your dad too, but you wanted to call the cops on my dad, no problem. You ain't gonna sleep good here tonight, for sure. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And then the kid gonna go, Mama, they beat me up. And mama gonna call the cops again. Hey, they doing something to my baby. It's like, this is the problem. And then he said, we're going to court. This is going to pop up in court. And the kid's like dumbfounded, like, court, how does, I thought what mama does is right. Yeah, it's supposed to work, but when you do egregious things, they backfire. Not saying that it'll change the custody, but this is going to backfire. Not for kids who don't understand this, the thing about social media, but more so smartphones, a lot of smart dads have started recording their interactions with y'all. And this has been going on for years. So, because a lot of y'all, when y'all young, y'all don't remember all of the BS y'all was on. Even you were doing what you were told to do, at least by your mom, but you don't remember the type of stuff you was on. And people got to show you, yeah, this is why I gotta, deal with you the way I deal with you. This is why, our relationship is different from the other kids. This is why you got to show them over, like, oh, like I did this, I did that, because these kids think they're right. Because if their mama say they're right, they think they're right. Especially when it's, mom versus dad and kids team mom. So kids is kid mom and kid versus dad. So they don't think they did anything wrong. So these are the problems that come about. Now, here's another thing that needs to be discussed. This is how you create somebody you call a deadbeat. Because at some point they get tired of it. They get, you know what? Don't worry about it. And it's different from back in the day when people say, I didn't know my dad left and never came. It's that's not the same MO now. What's going on now is, since these kids are team mom and they're anti dad, these type of kids, they're part of the team to try to run dad off. You get what I'm saying? Mom, hey, when you get with your dad, you ain't got to do this, you ain't got to do that, you ain't got. They tell them all the things they ain't got to do. They make them go to their dad's house and be disrespectful. They make them go to their dad's house and be super afraid. These are the games that are being played. So these kids act out. But what they don't talk about is, if the dad says, "Okay, cool, you got it," there's a celebration. Mama and kid, yeah, we got it, baby. You ain't never got to be there, da, 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 da. And that don't last long though, because now you got to remember, these mothers enable these kids to be disrespectful kids, and now they can't handle it. So even when dad says, "Don't worry about it, you got it, you stay over there," it ain't gonna take much. It ain't gonna take but 6 months, top 6 months to a year. You're gonna get a call. You need to get your child. They don't be acting like no. They acting like you taught them to act. See, because a lot of y'all don't realize y'all program these kids to be disrespectful, and it's like, be disrespectful to your dad. But here's the issue: you're really teaching them to be disrespectful to authority, to older people. So once dad just steps back, now the kid's gonna be like that with their teachers when they're at school. Now they're gonna be like that, with their coach if they play sports, because those are authority figures. Then they're gonna be like that with you. And then you gotta rewind the tape all the way to these moments where, remember, you call the cops. Yeah. You call the cops. No. We ain't doing that. I ain't got no parts of this. And these no, I need help. I need to help. Right? No. You need to get punched in the mouth. That's what you need. Actually, you and the kid need to get punched in the mouth, so both of y'all can see, it's consequences. But then it's the, he hit me, we going to court, and he can never see that kid again. It's like, okay, don't worry about it. Y'all have at it. Because now you're seeing a lot of young adults lie. And you see it on social media. You see a lot of young adults, it was like this, and I grew up like this, and I grew up like that, and that's what it was. And their parents come up on social media. Don't be lying on me. don't be lying on what was going on, because now y'all trying to be kids raised in a single mother household where the dad is a deadbeat and nobody ever did nothing for you. Now it's an act. It's not real anymore. It's an act for a lot of y'all. So it's just a storyline y'all go with, and people know and people have to put the real out. So, but a lot of y'all, like, this type of behavior goes into adulthood, is part of what I'm getting at. This goes into adulthood. That's why you see so many young adults who can't get they stuff together. They don't know how to be adults because they wasn't taught how to be adults. They were taught how to be anti-dad, which meant being anti-authority, which basically meant now they anti-job, anti-work, anti-grind, anti-drive, anti-ambition. They become anti-everything. But
They could be fashionable. They just anti-work. So this is what happens when, you know, people super team mom. You team mom, you call the cops. Mom, congratulations, baby. Congratulations. But like that, but in this particular, the dad said, yeah, this is got what I got to deal with. You know, she's probably gonna get a slap on the wrist, but this is egregious. So they might get up more than a slap on the wrist. But the most important thing about this is what ruins the relationship at an early age. Because when kids have that mindset and they do stuff like that, here's the one thing that they're never taught by their mothers: to apologize. They never taught to have remorse. They never, because hey, all the wrong I did, hey, it's being teen mom. That's what we supposed to do. Okay, cool. Stay your ass over there. That's what you, and that spills into their lives. This is why some of these young adults don't get along, because they can't apologize. They never wrong, even when they're dead wrong. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.